All right, everyone, welcome back to the 10PDC podcast. This is Coach Gino, and we are finally in December 2022. And I'll tell you one thing, it is getting hella cold out here. So for those who are used to the cold coming from other parts of the country, I'm sure it's not as bad for y'all, but for those born and bred in the Bay, it is hella cold out here. So again, everyone dress warm. Make sure you guys are warming up properly. If you need to, put on some sweats, put on a hoodie, whatever you need to get warm. If you want to get those grappling socks, I'm not going to mind those. Wrestling shoes, whatever you need to keep those feet warm. And to get that sweat broken in early. Whenever you guys are training, training cold, you're prone to more injuries. So get a good warm up. Don't just jump right into rolls and sparring thinking that you're going to be all good. Got to have good warm up, get some jump rope, run around, get your heart rate up, and it's going to be safer for you to train. Man, and those who are complaining about the cold, you better jump into that 6 a.m. class, and you got to see what those guys are dealing with in the morning crew. Because the morning crew, man, big shout out to the morning crew. We just came out of there this morning, and it is cold as balls up there. So that crew, dedicated, super, super happy with the 6 a.m. crew. Big shout out to Coach Rich and Mark for holding it down for us with the 6 a.m. squad. Everyone's looking real good out there. So, it is, again, December, so we got holidays right around the corner. So with that, we spoke last time on the podcast that we're doing a coupon code for everyone to get merchandise. This is available for everyone. Go and check out our store on our website, 10pdc.com. Coupon code is 10PDC15, I believe. Let me double check that. But again, the coupon code is out there, so you guys can take a little discount off of the prices and enjoy the holidays with your folks. Okay, let me double check 1 second. Make sure that I get that coupon code correct for everyone. Yes, 10PDC15. I was correct first time. Okay. So again, use that code, get your gear, whatever you need to. We also are doing a special holiday gift card. This is for the first time. We haven't done a holiday gift card yet, but this is going to go out to members. For those with unlimited all-class memberships, you get a free gift card that you can gift to anyone for a free 1-week pass at 10th Planet Daily City. And this goes out to mainly to first-time members. So if you have someone who's been interested, never trained with us before, never came in, you can gift this card to them for the holiday, and you can basically give them a free week of training. And for those who don't have unlimited memberships, who want to get this for people, we will have them for sale. We'll put them out for like $40, so you guys can purchase them. Again, it's a free week pass. You get yoga, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai. You get all the classes. If you're doing the kids' classes, the kids can use it as well. So again, free holiday gift card for the unlimited all-class members. And for those who want to purchase it, for those who are just doing drop-ins or visitors or who don't have contract rates, you can purchase these gift cards from us, $40, and we will give them to you so that you can spread the love of training to your friends and family who always wanted to train but have not yet gotten started. And that free week will be available for everyone to claim up until January, the end of January 31st. So if you give it to them during Christmas, they'll have a week in January that they can come in, train, and try out the gym and see what we're about. Again, this is intended to be gifted for people who have not trained with us before, for first-time visitors. So please, if you have anyone in mind, let us know. We'll make sure to get you that card, and we can set you guys up correctly. Newsletter should be coming out shortly. We do a monthly newsletter for those who don't know. So again, newsletter will be out shortly. Not out yet as of today, December 2nd, but we are hoping to put it out within the next couple of days. And check out that newsletter for announcements, what's coming up soon. And we will also be announcing some of the upcoming fights and competitions in that newsletter, along with all the stuff I just talked about. Moving on to some upcoming announcements for our competitors. We have this weekend Arte Suave, which is a jiu-jitsu super fight event. So Green Belt Johnny Mazinski, I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right. Johnny, I'm just going to say Johnny. Green Belt Johnny is going to be having a super fight on Sunday. So at the Arte Suave event, Johnny is a green belt under Michael Hillebrand of 10th Planet Oakland. And again, Johnny is a killer. A green belt in jiu-jitsu is basically a black belt, in my opinion, a kid black belt. And Johnny's simply not old enough to receive the adult rankings of blue belt and up yet, but he's got his green belt from Michael Hillebrand, I think well-deserved, and definitely a killer in the gym. If you guys haven't rolled with him, definitely get your rounds in with him. After that, on December 11th, we have Grappling X. We have a few competitors signed up for Grappling X, another jiu-jitsu tournament. This is not a super fight event. This is a tournament. And we got a few competitors out there, so shout out to everyone who's competing on that event. I believe we have, who is it? We have Costa, we have Graham, and we have J Group. So good luck to all those competitors. And on December 17th, we have Logan Diaz returning to the ring for his next amateur Muay Thai bout in Emeryville, California. So Emeryville, just across the bridge, right next to Oakland. So for those who are interested in coming to watch Logan in action, make sure you purchase your tickets from us at the front desk. 10th Planet Daily City has the physical copies of the tickets. $70 for general admission, $90 for ringside. There's also table options. You'll need a group of 8 people to purchase those tables. And if you're interested in any of that, let us know and we will get you there. So again, December 17th, Logan Diaz makes his return to the Muay Thai circuit and makes another amateur bout for him. So it should be a good time. Again, Emeryville is not that far from us. It's easy for us. I want to see a good crowd out there. A lot of the 10th Planet Daily City team, come on out and show your support. But yeah, I think that's it for upcoming events. So we got a lot of stuff coming up in December, holiday parties, winter breaks, all that stuff. We'll continue to make those announcements in the following podcasts, and we will continue to keep you guys up to date on all news. And Mark, I forgot to introduce him early in the episode, but Mark is here with us. Mark, do we have any announcements else from the gym? Anything on your side?
Nothing I could think of, but Shout out 6 a.m. squad.
Yes.
One of the best.
Yes. Thank you, Mark. Okay. We will move on now to fight announcements. Upcoming, there was no fights this past weekend, I believe. I guess, was there something? Let me see. Hold on. Let me pull up real quick, make sure I'm not missing a past event, but I definitely didn't watch it. I did not see any fights this past weekend. This past weekend, we had Thanksgiving, right? Thanksgiving. Oh, I'll talk about Thanksgiving just real quick. Sorry? Oh, yeah, with Tempe qualifiers. That's right. How could we forget Tempe qualifiers? Okay. So before I talk about the Tempe qualifiers, the combat jiu-jitsu qualifiers, I will speak on the Thanksgiving break. Again, I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving break and hope I had a good time. We were able to do a couple competition classes for our team. Oh, and how can I forget No-Gi Worlds next week? No-Gi Worlds, one of the biggest No-Gi jiu-jitsu competitions in the world, obviously, hence the name. But we had some competition classes. Shout out to Coach Steven, who's competing and also has been running a lot of competition classes for us. They've been great. They've been killing it. If you have not tried Coach Steven's competition class, get your ass in there. Make sure you are getting your competition training in if you are planning to compete, because that is a good opportunity for you to sharpen those skills in a competitive environment. That's what we're aiming to have, a good competitive team, not just a technical class, not just a chill class where you can hang around and talk with your friends. This is a competition class. We want to make sure all our competitors get the hard work that they need to get in before their competitions. So again, December 10, we have No-Gi Worlds, or that whole weekend, I should say, is No-Gi Worlds. But Coach Steven and all those other competitors, good luck to you all out there on that day. So, past weekend, we had 10P qualifiers for the Combat Jiu-Jitsu Team Duel. And this is something that I definitely should speak on. The Combat Jiu-Jitsu Team Duel is a brand new tournament Eddie Bravo has come up with, and it is a 5-on-5 team duel. So, team duels, how they work in jiu-jitsu is typically you have a team of 5 going up against a team of 5, okay? And then the first 2 competitors go against each other one at a time. They're not all simultaneously competing, but each team picks the order of who is going to go first and up until who goes 5th, right? So the first 2 competitors on each side go at it. If there's no submission within that time, both are eliminated. Then the next 2 competitors come up. And then if, let's say in this scenario, one person takes out the other person with a submission, okay? This second person in this group will have to go up against the third person in this group. And in some scenarios, this person on the second seed could take out the rest of the team by submission, and then this team can win. But let's run it back again. Let's say that there was no submission in the second, the third, the fourth, or the fifth. In this rule set, they go now to EBI OT. Each team picks a competitor to go into the OT round, and the EBI OT rules, if you guys don't know, is a basis of putting two guys in positions and going with the fastest escape time or with the fastest submission. So it's a good overtime rule set where there's no judges needed. There's no need for controversy. It's decided purely on who escapes fastest or who gets the submission fastest. So there's a lot more nuances to these rules. We'll talk about that closer to the team duel event. But we've got a few teams coming out to show out for 10th Planet. We've got Sam Hardy, who won those qualifiers. Big shout out to Sam Hardy. Ben Eddy's there as well. We've got Jordan. I'm not sure Jordan's last name. Jordan. Jordan is. I think he was the also in the qualifiers. He's a newer competitor. I haven't seen him too much, but I know he's been killing it in the competition scene. We have Nathan Orchard, OG in the game, 10th Planet Seattle, really high level jiu-jitsu guy, and just been around so long. And then fifth, we have Mike John in the 10th Planet OC group. So really good squad coming out for the 10th Planet squad. We'll talk about this in another day, but again, keep your eyes out. And again, this is combat jiu-jitsu. This is not regular jiu-jitsu. This is jiu-jitsu with strikes. So this is where it is totally new. These guys are allowed to open hand strike each other while they are rolling. So this is going to be a very interesting event because potentially one guy could be, throwing blows with five guys in a crazy scenario where the first seed takes out all five seeds. Or we can see just a bloodshed war of crazy transitions, crazy strikes, and I'm just super excited for this event. Eddie Bravo, big shout out to him for putting this event on. And Mark, did you pull him up? Jordan Wears Nogi, I think that's his Instagram handle. We'll put up the poster and all that stuff. You guys can check him out. I'm sure all the 10th Planet schools will be posting about that Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds event pretty soon. Very excited to see that.
Shout out Chris Vickers too.
Oh, yeah, Chris Vickers, 10th Planet NorCal. So, yeah, definitely he went up to the qualifiers, too. A big shout-out to all the competitors at the qualifiers. The qualifiers that Eddie Bravo hosts is typically to determine 10th Planet competitors who are looking to get an opportunity to compete on big stages. And the qualifiers has gotten a lot of superstars out and really put a lot of shine on them. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the rest of the qualifiers in the future and seeing what other talent comes out of there. Because, again, a lot of folks are just really talented in the 10th Planet system, just flying under the radar. But those qualifiers gives them a platform for them to take it to the next level. So super excited to see that. So yeah, qualifiers, combat jiu-jitsu team duel coming up soon. We will talk about that soon. Do you know the date on that, Mark? The combat jiu-jitsu team duel.
Sunday, December 18th.
December 18th. So the day after Logan's fight, we will talk about that probably the week following. Definitely will be tuning in for that. UFC Fight Pass. Check it out. Okay. Let us move on to a UFC events coming up this weekend. We have the Holland versus Thompson card, and this is going to be UFC Fight Night, Thompson versus Holland. So Stephen Thompson, Kevin Holland, the main event. A few other fights or fighters I'm looking at for this event. I'm looking forward to that Eryk Anders, Daukaus fight, Tuivasa versus Sergei Pavlovich fight. That's going to be a good one. Big fan of Tuivasa. Bryan Barberena and Rafael dos Anjos, if I'm saying it correctly. And then, of course, at the top, Stephen Thompson versus Kevin Holland. So, a lot of good fights. I am not too familiar with the Eryk Anders. Actually, I am familiar with Eryk Anders, but not Daukaus as much. I have watched Daukaus a few times, but definitely have watched Eryk Anders. I don't know who to pick on that fight. I'm just going to be looking forward to watching that. Mark, do you have a pick on that one?
Let's go Eryk.
Okay, Mark's going Eryk Anders. I'm neutral on that. I'm not going to pick because if I don't know the fighters, I'm not really on the I don't have a ability to pick justifiably. We will move on to Tai Tuivasa and Sergei Pavlovich. I'm picking Tai Tuivasa. I'm a big fan of Tai, and Bam Bam has been killing it in the UFC. I know he's coming off a loss, right, Mark? I think he's coming off a loss. It's the most recent one, but still, killer, man. That dude has power in his hands, and he's just freaking so explosive. I love the way the guy fights, and I'm sure he's going to do a shoey after, win or lose. Okay, we've got Bryan Barberena and RDA. Bryan Barberena, I've watched over the years. That last fight when he beat Robbie Lawler, man, I was just so surprised him being able to weather that storm and come back and beat Robbie Lawler. Lawler is one of my favorite fighters. RDA, I'm a big fan of as well. RDA seems like he's been on a downward trail more so, but RDA was a former champion. Can never count him out. I'm leaning toward Barberena there, even though I love those RDA. I think RDA is just it's hard right now. Father Time is knocking on his door. Would not be surprised if RDA comes out with a victory on that one, but I'm leaning toward Barberena on this, and only time will tell and see what's going to happen with that fight. And we'll move on to the main event. This is the one I'll talk about the most since I'm most familiar with both these guys. Stephen Thompson, Wonder Boy, versus Kevin Holland. Now, does Kevin Holland have a nickname? I'm not even sure. Big Mouth? Kevin Holland, I'm a big fan of Kevin Holland. He does talk a lot though, so and it's great. It's entertaining. It's really fun to see him talk trash when he's fighting, and he talks trash after and before they fight too. So he's really entertaining. He brings that extra flair to the sport of guys just having a mouthpiece and just really running it and really building up that animosity. So I'm super excited to see that. Stephen Thompson. Man, I've been a fan of. I'm a karate guy. I grew up in karate. Stephen Thompson is a phenom in the karate circuit, and he is a undefeated kickboxer. He's had a years of experience. Stephen Thompson is no schluck. I mean, he is a former contender. He's been fighting a good amount of time, and I'm a real big fan of Stephen Thompson. He's a karate fighter more so, and it's funny because a lot of guys, with the exception of maybe Stephen Thompson and Lyoto Machida, have not been able to use their karate style effectively, I should say. But these guys, man, very, very impressed with these guys over the years and how far they've gone. I started with karate when I was a kid, and seeing these guys shine in the UFC is really, really fun to see. And I'm a big fan of their styles. Now, with this matchup with Thompson versus Holland, you've got Thompson, who's mainly a striker. He got some decent ground game. And you have Holland, who loves to stand up, but Holland has some really good ground game and, works off his back. Neither of them really have high-level wrestling as much, so I don't think we'll see anyone going for shots or takedowns. But if someone gets knocked down in the fight, then that'll be interesting to see what's going on there. Kevin Holland comes from a kung fu background, and it's very interesting to see because it's not really traditional to see a lot of kung fu fighters in the UFC, but I know he does train with a boxing coach, and I know he does have a kung fu background. So seeing a kung fu versus karate matchup, that's going to be real interesting. Even though it's kung fu versus karate, quote unquote, it's MMA. These guys, who knows what they're going to pull out when it comes down to fighting. It may just turn into a boxing match. Who knows? But I'm super excited to see what these guys are going to do, and it's going to be a good show. I'm always excited to see a Wonder Boy fight and a Kevin Holland fight. So putting these two together, I think it's going to be fireworks. Any thoughts on Holland versus Thompson, Mark?
Oh man, it's gonna be good. Love watching Kevin Holland fight. I loved how they've been on each other's podcasts, and
that's true.
It's been so good to see it.
I'm trying to find the type of kung fu Kevin Holland trained. See, it was a specific type, and I had it earlier, but it's a kung fu style that I saw. I know how to find it. A kung fu style that I've seen a few times in the past, and it's again one of those Sansu Kung Fu, Sansoo, and I think I saw a demo of Kathy Long, an OG in martial arts. She was demoing it. It looks like a really sick, dope martial art. I've never trained Kung Fu myself, but I do admire the demos, and when people are able to use kung fu in fights. I'm a big fan of it. But yeah, this is a very unorthodox style we don't see too often in MMA, and Kevin Holland mixes it up. So he's never just having one fight style. Sometimes he puts a little boxing. Sometimes he puts a little street fight flair in there. Sometimes he'll do a little kung fu. He does his jiu-jitsu. So true mixed martial artist. He is going to mix it up, I'm sure. But interesting matchup nonetheless. And make sure you guys tune in. If you guys have any questions or comments, let us know in the comment section below. And yeah, any questions you guys have about any of the stuff we have? I mean, we encourage everyone to leave comments. Let us know if you have questions. We can address them on the podcast. Please engage, and then so we can get the community going in this podcast. I know. Big shout out to everyone who's been enjoying it. Those who have been watching and tuning in. Super appreciative of the support you guys been giving. We've been getting a lot of good comments on this podcast, so we're going to keep it rolling. Now. Lastly, I want to talk about this big ONE FC event, ONE Manila. And I want to talk a little bit about MMA in the Philippines. Because ONE FC, if you guys are not familiar with ONE FC, it's an Asian promotion based in Singapore. But they do a lot of events in Manila. And in the Philippines, MMA is becoming very, very popular. As most people know, MMA in general, worldwide, is growing. In the Philippines has always been known for boxing because obviously Manny Pacquiao. Growing up in the Manny Pacquiao days, it was incredible to see Manny's rise. We don't have Manny competing anymore. He's retired, but he is definitely going to be always talked about for a long time. He was one of the greatest boxing champions in the world. But now we have MMA growth in Philippines, and we're seeing Team Lakay really kill it in the MMA circuit. So I'm super excited to see that. Now, let me see. We have, I think, about 4 or 5 Filipino fighters competing on this event for the ONE Manila. We have Denise Zamboanga. I think she's Team Lakay as well. We have Edward Foyang. We have Jackie Buntan, American Filipino. We have, I thought we had Joshua Pacio, but maybe there's another event. But this ONE Manila is going to be a great event, I'm sure. If you guys are not familiar with these fighters, definitely check them out. The ONE FC cards are always available on YouTube for free, so you guys can check those fighters out. And that's the great thing about ONE FC. They put the fights up on YouTube so that everyone can get to know all these fighters. On this card as well, we have the Rotulo twins both competing for submission grappling. And that's another great thing about ONE FC. They don't just do MMA. They do Muay Thai. They do kickboxing. They do submission grappling. And then they do a very wide spectrum of martial arts. I think they've done boxing once too. So love to see that. Love to see them mix it up. The Rotulo twins, I'm not sure about their opponents, but the Rotulo twins, always going to tune in to watch them. High-level jiu-jitsu guys and just really killers on the mat. Very, very excited to see them mix it in at ONE FC. So, like I said, in general, in the Philippines, where my family is originally from, we see a lot of growth. MMA is getting very, very popular out there, and I'm super happy to see that the sport is growing and really shining out there. These champions are really putting on a show for all the Filipinos and just putting it on for Filipinos worldwide, showing that martial arts is strong out there. And I would love to see them continue to develop and progress and just take it to the next level. I hope to go out to the Philippines soon and help out and show some technique with some of the folks I train out there. Cobrina Manila, I've trained with before. Shout out to Coach Mark out there. And any other teams in the Philippines, I'd love to go out and try to work with, because I think the MMA growth out there is very important. I would love to help out with the grappling, love to help out with the striking wherever I can. And for those who are, again, new to the ONE FC cards and events, go check them out, because, again, they're super exciting fights. They're very, very entertaining to watch, and I would highly recommend all you guys go online, check out some fights, and see what I'm talking about, because these one fights are putting on a crazy show, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to do in the future. Let me see. Any other fights I missed on this? Let me see. I know I had Joshua Pacio. Looks like that's going to be on the next day. And the interesting thing about ONE FC is they have been doing back-to-back fights, which is interesting. So the next day, that event I just talked about, December 2nd, is a Friday for us, and then the following day it is going to be on December 3rd, a Saturday. So they do double events back to back. And the great thing is they're putting the fights on Prime Video as well. So this one should be on Prime Video. And this card, the Joshua Pacio versus Jared Brooks, there's a lot of animosity in this fight. This is for the strawweight world championship. And, strawweights we don't even have a strawweight division in UFC, but in Asia, people are smaller in size, so they have a men's strawweight division. Joshua Pacio and Jared Brooks have been going at it online. I'm super excited to see that. Joshua Pacio, another Filipino, I'm super excited to see him. And Jared Brooks, I haven't watched too much either, but he is talking a lot, and I'm excited to see if he's going to put his money where his mouth is. So if you haven't seen the build up to that, check out ONE FC's Instagram or check out their YouTube. You'll see what I'm talking about. These guys have been going at it online. So really, really fun to see. On the co-main event, we have Superlek versus Panpayak, and these two are rivals. Superlek is one of my favorite fighters. He is a kicking machine. I think that's his nickname, the kicking machine. So that's the Muay Thai Flyweight World Grand Prix Final. So the World Grand Prix Final was a event to have the top Muay Thai fighters go at it and in a tournament rule set. So this is the finals of it. I was thinking Rodtang was going to make it to the end, but I think Rodtang got injured or something, or he wasn't able to make it through. I don't know what happened. Rodtang just fought though, so I'm a little confused as to what happened there. But it is going to be Superlek versus Panpayak, and these guys are rivals. They both are killers, so watch out for that fight. Straight Muay Thai. If you're not into the grappling, check out that fight. And funny enough, looks like we got Brandon Vera also fighting at the heavyweight. Brandon Vera, former UFC fighter, American Filipino as well. Really excited to see him and see how he turns out. Used to be a light heavyweight in the UFC. Once he moved to ONE FC, became a heavyweight champion, and has been in ONE FC ever since. It looks like a lot of Filipino fighters on the December 3 card. But again, these fighters in ONE FC, they're still building up their name. A lot of them, it's really hard because some of them don't speak English. Some of them have very hard to pronounce names, so it's hard to remember them. But what you won't forget is their fights. Their fights are like vicious. These fighters really put it on, and I love to see it. ONE FC is a little different with the rule set as well. They judge the fight as a whole rather than on a round by round basis. They don't allow weight cutting, so it's very different, but still fighting, right? And fighting, and at the end of the day, is always going to be fun. Is always going to be interesting to me. I'm tuning in. I'm checking it out. So ONE FC, a lot of fights off that event. We've got the Holland versus Thompson on the UFC event. A lot of good stuff coming up. So stay tuned. If you guys have watched this or watch the events and are watching this on a replay, let us know. Let me know if my predictions were right or if they were wrong. Would love to see what you guys think about these fights because I'm super excited for them as well. I think that's it for me for today. Do we have anything else, Mark, missing?
No, I think we're all good.
All right. Well, everyone, we'll be back next week. We took that little break for Thanksgiving, but we will be back next week with another episode. So everyone, in the meantime, take care, train hard, and stay consistent. Have a good one, everyone.